Mom and Dad, are you ready?
Today's word is stupendous.
You need some encouragement.
We really love listening to you guys.
You need some inspiration.
We just found your Stupendous Marriage podcast.
Oh, I love that word. Stupendous.
Stupendous marriage encouragement from Stu and Lisa on the Stupendous Marriage Show.
Hey there, it's Stupendous Marriage Show. I'm Stu Gray.
Hey, I'm Lisa Gray.
Once again, we're back at it.
Woohoo!
Talking of all things marriage.
All things marriage.
Families.
Woohoo! So yesterday we had got to finish out the weekend in a fun way, going to a wedding.
Yeah, it was very pretty.
Yeah, weddings are always so much fun. In fact, I actually posted a picture of us at the wedding on our Facebook page. So if you haven't checked that out, you can check it out. It's facebook.com/Stupendous Marriage Show. And you can see our fabulous picture at the wedding. Beautiful, beautiful venue and beautiful weather. It just reminded me like how easy it is to forget about that feeling that you have on your wedding day when you're first starting this journey of marriage together, and just seeing the bride and the groom in their faces and the excitement and the energy in the room, all the people that were so happy for them. Just reminds me, it really is something to be excited about. Not just the wedding, the event, because it's not like the 2-hour event that's that significant. It's the journey you're really starting together as husband and wife. And I wish it stayed that way. I wish that energy and that excitement stayed in your marriage. And it's not realistic for it to be something that where you're walking in that energy every day. But it was just a nice reminder. I think anytime you get an invite to a wedding, you should go, because it is just a pause to go, oh, yeah, I remember that. I remember that feeling. I remember being in my dress backstage, waiting to walk out.
I do not remember that feeling.
Why don't you tell us what you remember?
I remember crying a lot on our wedding day. I cried through the vows, cried before, I think I cried after. Most of the pictures from our wedding day are me bright pink-faced and swollen eyes because I cried through most of it. So thank you for that reminder.
You're
My
welcome.
memory is not as wonderful and fabulous, and actually it's fine. I mean, I don't care that I cried and stuff, but it's not like, it's more like, man, you were so emotional. What is up with you? It wasn't bad, though. It was just like, whoo, this is a big deal. It was a good thing.
It was. I remember walking down the stairs and seeing you down there crying and just going, oh, I can't watch him because I'll start crying. And
okay, so we got married in a castle, the Louisiana castle, and literally walking down the stairs was a thing for you in your dress. I mean, what was it, 75, 100 steps with your dad, and not tripping on the dress and stepping on things. And
yeah, I think it was 48 steps.
Oh, see, I was going to make a bigger story. It was like 7,000 steps.
No, oh my word. Well, and unfortunately, my dress was snagging on the stones behind me as I was walking down. And so he was having to kind of hold on to me so I could literally like push forward as I was taking each step to get my dress not to be caught without falling down forward. And so when I get to the bottom, man, I was so happy. I was like, yay, I did it. Because I just had this vision that I was going to like fall down the stairs. So I was really, really glad I didn't.
I'm glad you didn't too. You look very pretty on our wedding day.
Oh, see, that's exactly what I'm talking about. Like when you go to a wedding, it just reminds you of things. So many times in the Bible, they always talk about remembering things.
Yeah, true.
And it's so easy in our life and the speed of everything and how quickly everything happens to just always be thinking about the today, what I have to do today, what's going on today, and not to remember the thing that happened on your wedding day or the thing that just happened yesterday. The miracle that God may have done yesterday, last week, last year. It's just so easy to forget about that and then focus on whatever stressful stuff you have going on in your world. I think that's human nature.
Yeah, but going back and revisiting those events in your marriage can be a positive thing, especially if you can share about them positively and not be upset or dogging your spouse. But it just creates good feelings between the two of you.
Yeah. Well, when I was a kid and every time I'd hear stories about them building the like monuments, where they would build something in memory of something that had happened in the Bible, I always thought, that's so weird. Like just to have like the stones. And I'm like, really? But now as an adult, I understand it. I really understand to try to remember the things that God has done. It just helps my focus today to remember what he did yesterday and the day before.
That's good. We've got an email coming up. We're glad you're here. If you're on Instagram, you can find us at Stupendous Marriage on Instagram, and you could send us a question through our Instagram stories. So Instagram.com/Stupendous Marriage. In our little reminders there, it says ask a question. And if you want to send us a short question, maybe we'll answer it on the show here. Here is the question for today. Hey there, I've been with my husband 2 years this year. In high school, I experienced sexual assault and have found sex to be hard for me at times. We've talked about it and found ways that work for us, and so that I don't feel uncomfortable. But I know that the nights we don't have sex, my husband sometimes watches porn, and I feel like because of the anxieties I experience with sex, I am leading him away from God, or creating a door for possible adultery in the future. I've tried to tell him in a way that wasn't coming at him like an attack that I'm uncomfortable with it. We don't have a lot of sex, so my question is, am I wrong for not wanting him to watch porn? And if I'm not, how can I talk to him about it in a way that won't seem like I'm attacking him? Thank you.
First and foremost, watching porn is not okay. No matter the circumstance, no matter whatever may be going on in your sex life, in your intimacy, in your marriage, it's not okay. And I know you're going to probably dig into that quite a bit, but I just want to say that to her because I think she's feeling like, is it okay? Should it be something that she should just kind of get over? And no, it's not. Yeah. It's not okay. It's not good. It's not healthy. There's no positives to putting those type of pictures into your mind or videos. But there's so much more in this email to really unpack. It is so unfortunate that she had that experience in high school and that's now affecting her marriage. Yep. And so I don't know if at any point in time she has unpacked that, if she's gone to a counselor and really worked through that. As much as it may be affecting her physically right now, I have a feeling it's probably more so affecting her emotionally. I don't know how it couldn't. So I would definitely suggest, first and foremost, because, you can't change your husband, you can only change yourself, really taking some time to unpack that and figure out, work through that experience and let God do some healing there.
I think that's really a good idea on your side of the marriage equation. There are two people involved, obviously. He brings his stuff, you bring your stuff, and yours just happens to look this certain way. His looks a different way. So working through that for yourself is a very positive thing. And maybe it's forgiveness. Maybe it's, just kind of getting all those stuffed emotions out for yourself that would really, really help and maybe lighten the burden a little bit on your shoulders. Now, Lisa already talked about it. You said something in this email about creating a door for possible adultery in the future, and I just want to take that off your shoulders. You aren't creating the door for possible adultery, and if we're actually going to talk biblically about pornography, pornography is adultery because you're bringing someone else into your marriage, and so technically you haven't created the door. He's been creating it and continuing to walk through it if he is watching porn by himself on those nights where he feels like he's not having sex or he wants something from you that you're not able to give at that moment. That's his issue. He needs to work on that. He definitely needs to, step up and figure out how to work on that addiction, get in some accountability, get in some groups to help him grow in the right way. But together as a couple, you said you have found some ways that work for you guys in the sexual arena. So that's where you guys can work together, okay? You're working on your issues of dealing with your abuse. He's working on his pornography and getting accountability there. But together, the two of you need to talk about what does sex look like for us? How often does that work for us or not? What am I comfortable with? What are you comfortable with? What are we not comfortable with together? What could we try? What could we not try? All of these questions have to be talked about openly and honestly with your husband.
And one of the things that I think she also said was talking about the amount of sex that you have. Who's determining what's the right amount? Exactly what you just talked about, Stu. I think so many times we hear what other people are doing, or we have assumptions of what we think we should be doing, especially early in a marriage. So many times we have expectations that we put on ourselves that don't even need to be there. So exactly what you were just talking about. It needs to be what works for you and your husband, what works in your schedule, what works in your bandwidth to be able to give that to each other. So I definitely think taking that pressure off yourself of, oh gosh, we're not doing it as much as they are, and so therefore, because I'm not willing to give it as much, then he's doing these other things and it's all my fault. It's not your fault. You don't have that much power over him to dictate what he does or doesn't do. You're not responsible for him. At the end of our life, we come into this world alone, we leave it alone. We are going to be the ones individually who stand in front of Jesus and explain for our actions and our decisions. And so you can't take on what other people do in your own world. Now, all that to say, in 1 Corinthians 7, it talks about not withholding sex from your spouse. So I think there's that fine line. I don't think it's an absolute. I don't think God is saying every time your husband wants to have sex, you have to do it. It doesn't need to become legal. But what it does need to come is it's a matter of your heart. Are you withholding because you are physically uncomfortable? And if so, do you go to a doctor and get that worked out or see if there's anything they can do? Or are you not wanting to have it as much because of the anxiety that you're experiencing? What is the reason, right? And then also having grace for each other in conversations about what long-term your sex life is supposed to look like.
So there's a tool that Dr. John Gottman talks about. You said you don't want to confront him and make him upset or cause him whatever feelings he's going to have about his pornography. Now, I get you not wanting to make him uncomfortable, but sometimes guys who have that issue have to hit a hard wall to realize that their spouse is having an issue with it. And ladies too, because this is not just a male issue. And more women are becoming addicted to pornography as well. And sometimes people in that type of compulsion have to come up against something black and white and go, take this door or take that door. But here's a tool anyway, if you want to talk about your feelings, how it makes you feel, always open with, hey, I feel this way about your pornography use. I feel sad, hurt, shame, upset, frustrated, whatever that word is about what you're doing when we're not having sex or pornography or whatever. And I need XYZ. What do you need for him to do? What are you asking him to do? And I need to talk with you more about our sex life. And I need you to make steps out of your pornography. I need you to get some accountability. I need you to not get on the computer when I'm going to bed. Whatever those things are for you in your marriage right now, those are just ideas. You kind of fill in those blank. I feel blank about whatever the thing is, and I need blank. And that gives you a smoother runway to get the conversation up in the air. Mm-hmm. And instead of going, you did this and you did that and you open with I and your feelings instead of you suck, you're horrible, you're doing this wrong, which never works.
Yeah. If they aren't already seeing a counselor, I think it also would be a really good idea for them as a married couple.
Probably.
And some people are kind of weird about counseling. Why do I need a counselor?
Yeah.
All counseling does is it gives you tools in your tool belt to be able to address and work through whatever situation you find yourself in. It's not a bad thing. It's actually a really, really good thing because guess what? None of us are schooled and taught on what it's like to be in a relationship with another person and to be walking through their stuff while you're walking through your own stuff. So just going and getting some tools, because you're newlyweds, you're 2 years into this thing, you guys have a lot of years ahead of you. So anything that you can do right now, like sending this email to us,
Of course.
to get tools to be able to go, hey, how do we get past this bump in the road to be able to get on the other side and be healthy in our marriage? It is a good thing. So just go out there and do it. Get a counselor, start working through that together. And if for some reason he won't go to one, go for yourself and start working through your own stuff. There's also another group that Stu has been a part of for many years, which was really helpful for him, called Celebrate Recovery. I also went to it, and it is a place just to be able to go talk to people, just put your stuff kind of out there. It's one of those kind of 12-step programs, but you can go and actually just find support there, and a place just to vent, just to get out of your head and think about what's going on and break stuff down. And I just think it's a really great place to start working on getting yourself healthy.
It is. It is a good place to work on some of those things. It's not counseling. It is not fixing. It's literally just having a safe place to talk about stuff with people who are in the same area that you are, or who might be struggling in the same places in your relationship or life. You can surround yourself with women who may have been through abusive situations. Depending on where you are in the country, different churches offer that program, and it's really, really helpful. And talking about being proactive in our marriages and you guys being 2 years in, good for you for taking a step and really wanting to be better and figuring it out for yourself so you can have a blessed marriage for the rest of your life. A lot of people wait too long to take those steps. A lot of people wait till, man, the wheels are really falling off. So good for you for getting in here and asking this question, even though it's difficult. And it is going to be a season of bumpiness probably for a bit. Mm-hmm. On the backside, there is hope. And as you walk through it and work through it, you stand together, you work through things together, you love on each other well, you encourage one another, you compliment one another, you keep leaning into your marriage, lean into your spouse, and love them as best they can, because you guys are one flesh. And the devil wants nothing more than to rip you guys apart. And so lean on and trust in him, but also just lean into your spouse in these difficult times even.
And you may not know this if you've just started listening to the show, but this is a journey that Stu and I went through. So we can definitely speak to this from a place of on the other side, that we've gone through this. It was rough. It was hard. There wasn't an easy out, but we got through it and got to the other side. And so we're going to be praying for you during this season. And just remember that you guys got married 2 years ago for a reason. You love each other and you can get through this. Just focus on that. Focus on, instead of being and allowing the pornography to be something between you guys, stand arm in arm and work together to fight it. And it may be something that he's addicted to. It may be, it's not just a matter of him casually watching it. It may be something that he is now addicted to and he has to work through that addiction. I'm not sure. But either way, you guys can definitely get through it and get to the other side.
We appreciate your email on air at stupendousmarriage.com if you want to send us your email, or the big blue button at stupendousmarriage.com. You can look for that on our sidebar, or if you're looking on your phone, just keep scrolling down on our main page. It says right there, click here. This is the big blue button, and you can send us an email that way.
You guys have a great week.
See ya.
Yeah.
Like the show? Like the show?
Yeehaw.
Share the podcast. Tell another couple.
Hold on. Hold up.
Here is the question for today. Where is it? It's here somewhere. Ah, yes. Good. Moving on.
Is a good thing. So I think if you guys are not already in a counselor, is a good thing. So if you're not already in a blah, blah, is a good thing. So if you aren't...
Flurly, flurly, flurly.
Don't get me laughing.
Okay, then.
We good?
I think so. We'll see.
That's a wrap. Okay, let's start over. Yeah.
Like the show? Like the show. Share the podcast. Tell your married friends.
Yeah.